Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. A question that I would like to ask, and I'm hoping those of you that have family will comment and give your commentary below. If you are moving someplace and if you have family, parents, siblings, kids, aunts, uncles, extended family, what are your thought processes when you're going to be moving to another country and you're leaving family behind? Thankfully, with the advent of Zoom and Skype and messengers and WhatsApp and Telegram, you name it, we can communicate through a phone, a laptop. There's a lot of ways that we can get visually, kind of be virtually connected to one another, regardless of where we are in the world. But there is something different when you, let's say it's somebody's birthday or anniversary, and you're, wishing someone happy birthday, happy anniversary from abroad. And in some cases, you may not necessarily be close to your family or different parts of your family. So this question doesn't really impact you. You're going, we're all going to live our lives, and I'll see them when I need to. Otherwise, I'm living my life, they live their life, and so on. But for others, there is that kind of pull, and it sometimes can be a deal breaker or a hard discussion or discussions about moving to another country because you can't go back for every function or every event, or at least I don't know anybody that has that wealth to do that. So it is something to consider and think about when you're going someplace. And I wanted to let you know some things that we were thinking about and have thought about while we were living abroad. And as we're thinking down the future, once we get to retirement, where retirement may be, whether it be here in the U.S. or another country. Parents, where are your parents at in their life? If you have parents, how's their health? And if something happens to change with their health in a bad way, are you overseas and you're monitoring it and you're having calls and whatnot, or are you of the mindset that okay, well, we may need to go back home for a bit of time or for maybe a long time because the health is in decline, and you want to be there for those moments, whether it be to be a caregiver or to just be with someone, depending on what's going on with their health. I think that's very important to consider, and the same goes for siblings, aunts, uncles that you might be close with. You want to be able to spend some time with them, and then kids. Many of the people that we had met, we were not retired yet. We're jealous of those people that were, but many people were retired, so they were of an age group that many of them had kids and even grandchildren. And that's where you may ask, do you feel compelled? You feel like you're missing too many of the milestone moments with the grandkids or your kids. And there are some situations where people said, yeah, we do the virtual calls and whatnot, but we also don't feel like we need to be there. And if we are, let's say it's a milestone birthday or an anniversary, they said, yeah, we'll make the effort to get a flight back or get transportation to be able to get back for that particular one. But we don't feel the need that we have to be there for, let's say, every birthday, every anniversary, every function or event that kids or grandkids might be partaking in. But if you feel like you are someone that does pull at you, going, oh, I want to be here and I don't want to miss these moments. You almost have FOMO about the family. You may think twice or three times or four times or just decide not to move because you will be missing some of those. The only, I guess, I'm trying to think here of an example. I'm going to use the U.S. because that's where we live. But if you live in the state of Washington and you move to Vancouver, British Columbia, Okay, well, then you can drive or quick flights to get back. It's more easy if you're near a border country and you're just going across the border and your family's on the other side. That's a different story. But overwhelming majority of people that we came in contact with and that I speak to about moving to different countries are many thousands of miles away, so they can't just hop in a car and see them in a few hours. But I think that's really something that I also believe you have to have settled. And if you're going alone, you need to talk to yourself and look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm okay moving. I'll go back for maybe high points that I need to, but otherwise I'm going to keep living wherever I am at. If you're with a partner or you have a family, those same discussions, making sure that you're both you're on the same page, you're aligned, where that term, to be able to say, okay, we're going to go, we're going to do what we need to. If something major happens, we can get a flight back or transportation, but we're going to continue to go live our life, and then the family members on either side, we'll see them when we see them. I think of that because it's more often than not, in our case, when we moved back, we didn't move back for any particular reason, some work changes in Europe. But family-wise, things were fine. Knock on wood, people were healthy. But as we continue to get older and whatnot, and our health, we're always checking to make sure we're okay. I think that's something that really people don't give enough weight to. Because if you do get a phone call saying, hey, someone's in the hospital, it may be, well, they've got a few days and you need to get here if you want to say goodbye. I've had that happen in a couple of instances. I've also just got overseas and kind of middle of the night in Portugal, got a call. My dad was dying. There wasn't an opportunity to get on a plane and do last goodbyes. It was kind of a goodbye on the phone. So those are things that I think we don't give enough weight to. My wife and I talked about it and said, what happens if there's some major things going on health-wise with people? And we did say that if we felt like there was going to be a major issue, that we would make a consideration to come back because of that. So we decided that was going to be the case. So my dad's situation was more of that was an instant situation. It wasn't something that was going to be have the ability to come back. But if I got a call saying, hey, it's pretty serious, he doesn't have a whole lot of time, then I would have flown back for sure, or maybe my wife and I would have gone back and spent maybe several weeks being able to spend time and give care to kind of be able to say goodbye. But it is something, and I'd love if you have comments, if you've had people pass away while you've been overseas, or major medical issues, or you just felt like, I'm missing my family. Please comment and give kind of the reasons why. I think it's worth, when people watch these videos, to be able to get commentary from people that have done it and hear your stories, so that there's hopefully dozens, if not hundreds, of opinions over time that people be able to think about. Because there's often, when you're going overseas, you can't think about everything. And this is one of those that sometimes it's, I'll worry about it. If something happens, I'll think about it. I think it's worth being proactive and think about, if your people in your family that are important to you, if something happens or there's issues, how does that impact your life overseas? So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for letting me ramble on this video. Please comment below with your take on things. As always, I appreciate you watching, and enjoy your travels.